Building your own podcast? Here's a quick guide to determining the length of your podcast episodes. It really can be a balancing act. The optimal length for a podcast episode, it's a delicate balance between providing valuable content and keeping your audience engaged. There's really no one size fits all answer to this, but here are some factors to consider when determining your ideal duration. One, content type and depth. So consider short form podcasts. These are ideal for quick, digestible content like news updates, quick tips, or humorous anecdotes. Aim for, say, 5 to 15 minutes per episode. Or for long form podcasts, these are suitable for more in-depth discussions or interviews, things where you're doing storytelling. Consider 30 to 60 minutes per episode for these, but be prepared to go longer if the topic demands it. Two, audience preferences. Research your audience. Use surveys, social media polls, or analytics to understand your listeners' preferences. If you don't have any listeners yet, just start rolling out episodes. And then as you start to gather a few listeners, go to them and ask them for some feedback. Consider their attention spans and preferred listening habits. Adapt eventually to your niche. Some niches like true crime or history, they might lend themselves to longer episodes, while others like comedy or news might benefit from shorter formats. Three, platform and listener behavior. Consider platform-specific trends. Different platforms have varying listener behaviors. For example, podcast listeners on platforms like Spotify might have longer attention spans than those on YouTube. Consider binge listeners. Shorter episodes might encourage binge listening, while longer episodes might be better for more spaced out listening. Four, practical considerations like production time and cost. Be mindful, the longer your episode, the longer it's going to be required of you for more production time and resources. Balance the benefit of local episodes with the practical constraints of your production process. But have some consistency. Strive for consistency in episode length to help your audience plan their listening habits. Ultimately, you guys, the best way to determine the optimal length for your podcast is to experiment and then gather data. Track listener engagement metrics such as completion rates, downloads, and social media interactions to identify what works best for your audience. Remember, it's always quality over quantity. A well-crafted 20-minute episode can definitely be more impactful than a poorly executed 60-minute one. So prioritize delivering value content that resonates with your audience and let the data guide your decisions. If you need any further help than this, feel free to contact me directly at gpotters@createmypodcast.com. That's GPOTTERS at createmypodcast.com. Happy podcasting.